Good evening, everyone. Uh, welcome to this fireside chat session with Saurabh and Ben. Saurabh and Ben are our distinguished guests from and a panelist who focus on Open RAN and that specialize in their implementation. Ben is a senior director with Red Hat for the APAC region, and Saurabh is a CTO for the telco business for Dell. Thank you very much, Ben and Saurabh, for participating in the fireside chat and openly discussing a very important topic on Open RAN, which is going to revolutionize the way telcos are going to run their business going forward. Thank you. Just to set a context, Ben and Saurabh, because this is a fireside chat, and the discussion is very focused on some of the opportunities and challenges that you have seen and the learnings that you have witnessed with working with multiple operators around the world. Open RAN offers great opportunity for the telcos to introduce a flexible, secure, agile, and multi-vendor ecosystem into deployment of their network. It will also help in moving faster when it comes to deployment of 5G and reducing the total cost of operations. The capex costs, including the macro, the small cells, and the public outdoor networks, is estimated to be more than 40 billion by 2026, which offers a very great opportunity for telcos to not only optimize the effective use of Open RAN, but also to learn from some of the deployments around the world. India is at a cusp of such deployment, and your experience in working with different telcos around the world will really help some of our viewers who are very keenly wanting to know some of the challenges and also advantages of actually deploying Open RAN. I'll start with you, Ben. Ben, can you first introduce yourself and also explain to our viewers on what has been your experience in global deployments and some of the learnings that you would like to share in the context of India?
Thank you. Yes. Well, my name is Ben Panic. I'm the Senior Director and Head of Telco Sales for Red Hat in the Asia Pacific region. I'm really happy to be here with you talking today about some of the transformation that's going on inside of the telco industry. You know, as I think back over the last 25 or 26 years that I've been involved in this industry, I can't think of a time that I'm more excited. It's just a great opportunity for all of us as we continue the journey on 5G and the cloudification of our networks. And I think the opportunity around O-RAN is one that gives operators control back of their network. And you touched on it a little bit before about the ecosystem. It's the ability to tap into that ecosystem and to move away from some of the legacy players and to tap into some of the innovation that is being developed and deployed into some of the operators globally. The opportunity that O-RAN is going to provide in terms of capex savings is not to be dismissed. It's huge numbers. We all know the amount that is spent in wireless, and being able to disaggregate the whole wireless network is going to drive increasing cost savings for us. And that's going to give us the ability to repurpose some of those monies and focus more on innovation and look to derive and deploy new use cases into our enterprise markets. And I'm really excited about the opportunity that that's going to develop for us. Some of the things and areas that I think we do need to focus on are the operations and the operationalization of our networks as we look towards O-RAN. I think we're going to see increasing automation and the ability for us to deploy wireless sites in significantly faster times than we've seen before. If you look at Rakuten as a great example in Japan, the new greenfield operator, they're able to deploy wireless sites now in minutes in a fully autonomous way. So they're really showing what's possible as we step away from the traditional ways that we've deployed our wireless networks. And then backing all of that up, we're going to need to look at how we reskill and retrain our workforce. As we move towards the cloudification of the network, we're going to have to dig into the IT side of our organization, tap into some of those skill sets, and then continually train and develop our current workforce in operations and engineering so they're ready to work in this agile CI/CD workforce that we're going to have moving forward. It's a really exciting time. The cost savings, the ecosystem, and the cloudification of the networks are really going to help us transform, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Thank you, Ben. I think you covered some very, very important points, and your example on Rakuten is very perfect. It's a case study by itself. But with that context, Saurabh, I'd like to move on to you and seek your thoughts on the point that Ben ended his conversation with, which is the concept of greenfield versus brownfield. Indian deployment of O-RAN will be on a brownfield operation. And India is complex when it comes to deployment of the network itself, the backhaul, and the challenges that everyone is facing. But at the same time, it's a great opportunity as well when it comes to using the technologies that have been well tested in other geographies. What would be your advice to operators and also to the other ecosystem players to customize this learning or to adapt this learning from an Indian context?
Thank you so much, Peru. So I'm Saurabh Tiwari. I'm with Dell Technologies. I'm the director and CTO for telecom in India. An absolute honor to be a part of this discussion, Guru. Thanks so much. And of course, the Indian Mobile Congress for having us here. Look, Open RAN is a holistic approach to RAN. While at first it might seem complex, so many components coming in together from multiple vendors, okay? But if you look a little bit more closely, it is an open standards marvel, okay, with the potential to effectively address many long-standing issues. And these are specifically catered to not just, the level of international operations and operators that we have, but also in India, closer to home, okay? There are many long-standing issues which Open RAN kind of addresses. The first being, it allows RAN processing to leverage the rapidly evolving mainstream server technology, which gains from faster CPUs, newer accelerators, which are being launched every few quarters. For the first time, you truly have a smart radio network that relies on AI and keeps pace with your smartphone's latest SoC. So it's critical to effectively implement and truly exploit benefits of cutting-edge 5G technologies like beamforming, dynamic spectrum sharing, and real-time self-optimization. Now, real-time self-optimization is something that we really need in India, which is why, because we have the highest number of radio base stations of any country, anywhere, okay? And the amount of complexity that managing those number of radio base stations that we have in India is simply very, very, it's kind of unparalleled. It's not there anywhere else. Secondly, you have a software-defined and virtualized RAN, which enables massive scalability and load balancing, greatly reducing complexity and cost. See, during COVID, what happened? We all started working from home, and unfortunately, I'm at home, so that's what you see here. But how do operators scale? So at the core, they have done that because at the core, they have already started using clouds to sort of course, on-prem clouds to their core processing. But at the radios level, that's not easy. Okay, that's what Open RAN brings in. And finally, you're introducing a fantastic new concept of the radio intelligence controller, a new RAN node to cohesively manage and use AI to self-optimize multi-vendor components while reducing daily optimization costs and greatly improving the subscriber experience. So all of that in the Indian context, I think this is a technology which probably is a boon for operators in India, okay? where they can actually mitigate so many long-standing issues that have plagued the industry for such a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh. I think you did cover some very important aspects. Ben and Saurabh, in the interest of time, I'm just going to ask you to give me a one-word answer on one learning and one challenge that you see operators facing when it comes to the Indian context. Ben, can I start with you? When it comes to deployment of O-RAN, what is the one word that you would like to tell them to be looking out for, and one learning that you might have?
Planning.
And that's fantastic. And on the opportunity side,
cost saving. Two words,
excellent.
Cost saving.
And Saurabh?
Yes, I would agree with Ben. Planning is, of course, number one. The second thing, which is incredibly important from an Indian perspective, is to have a common, consensus within both the regulatory framework as well as the operators to ensure spectrum sharing, to ensure, quicker rollouts, and of course, fiber. You can't realize so many use cases that 5G stands for without having fiber, which is difficult in India. Thank you.
So I take consensus and fiber are two words that you are suggesting that operators should look at.
That's right.
Thank you, Saurabh and Ben, for this wonderful, short yet extremely insightful fireside chat. Looking forward to having more discussions with you going forward. On behalf of IMC, I'd like to thank both of you for participating in this fire chat. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks.